What's up guys, my name's Brandon and the AirPods Pro have been in my ears every single day since they launched about a month ago, and I wanted to share with you guys my full review and the real world differences between the AirPods Pro and the AirPods 2 because to my surprise, not everything was better with the Pros. So let's start with the obvious. The AirPods Pro look much different from the AirPods and the AirPods 2. They have a significantly shorter stem. Right here, we have the interchangeable silicone ear tips as well, and the part that sticks in your ear is also just a little bit bulkier. And while it may seem like a small difference just looking at them here, especially the stems, once you compare the two when they're in your ear or you see somebody else with these in their ears, you can instantly tell the difference. After being out in public a lot this month, I did start noticing a lot of people with the normal AirPods or the AirPods 2 in their ears because of the stem. It just looks a lot longer when I see it on people now because I'm used to the short stem on the AirPods Pro. The charging case is also slightly different. You can see here the AirPods Pro case is a lot longer and shorter than the AirPods and the AirPods 2 case right here. We do have the same little button on the front here that indicates the charging levels. We do have the lightning port on the bottom, and then we do have that chrome hinge and also the connection button right there to connect to a new device. And the way these two cases open up is exactly the same, but I did find that because of the size of the original AirPods case and the AirPods 2 case here, it's so much more satisfying to just open up and fidget with. I know a lot of people probably do this. You just open up the AirPods case and fidget with it. That's a lot better, a lot more satisfying, I guess, on the AirPods 2 compared to the AirPods Pro. I did also notice that my Pros have stayed much cleaner than my AirPods 2 within the first month. The AirPods tend to get a lot of earwax on the inside, like netting part of the actual AirPod, but since the Pros have the silicone tip, it prevents most of that wax from entering deep into the AirPod. Now, this is something that I wanted to mention because the AirPods and the AirPods 2 got very, very dirty with dirt and with earwax very quickly. It didn't take long, and you did have to clean them quite often, but with the Pros, I've only noticed very small amounts of wax on the tip here, and it's easy to pick off right away without needing like tools like a toothpick or anything like that, like you needed with the AirPods 2 to get deep in there. Now, as for the fit, I actually thought that the medium-sized tip fit me best at first with the AirPods Pro, and even when I did the fit test, it said that they were fine in my ears, but the AirPods actually kept coming loose in my ears when I was at the gym, when I was riding my bike, even when I was just walking, they would come loose. So I had to switch to the small tips, and then they fit perfectly and stayed very snug in my ear. So you will definitely have to experiment with that if you do get the AirPods Pro. And like I said, my first things to do when you get the AirPods Pro video, don't just listen to the test that you have to run through because it's not entirely accurate. It may not be the best for you. So I do like the convenience of the AirPods 2 better since they just fit perfectly and work right out of the box. I didn't have to go through and try different tips and things like that. So I did like that better about the AirPods 2 compared to the AirPods Pro. But for overall comfort, I would say that the AirPods Pro do feel a little bit more comfortable in the ear once you do get the right tips put on. And that's definitely not something that I expected. And I didn't expect that because in-ear headphones can be very uncomfortable and kind of just build up pressure inside, but Apple actually thought about that with the AirPods Pro, and they used a small pressure valve in each one of these AirPods to reduce the amount of pressure inside of your ear. And this is very similar to what they did. It's actually the exact same thing they did with the Powerbeats Pro. And this is huge for me, especially when I'm on a plane, since I tend to get a lot of pressure built up. It's huge for me that they added this small pressure valve into the AirPods Pro. You're also going to be more confident with the Pros when they're in your ear as far as not falling out and things like that, especially if you're at the gym, on a bike ride, things like that. You will be more confident in the Pros just because they stick in your ear a little bit further than the actual AirPods 2, where they just kind of hang onto your ear. Unless it's a perfect fit. It was a perfect fit for me, and I really never had any issues with the AirPods 2 falling out of my ears. But I would say for most people, you will probably have more confidence with the AirPods Pro in your ears just because they're going to go a little bit deeper in there and be more secure in your ear. Now, speaking of the gym and bike rides, I do tend to sweat while doing those two activities, and thankfully the AirPods Pro are IPX4 rated for water and sweat resistance, whereas the AirPods 2 are not water or sweat resistant. Now, I have sweat in my AirPods 2 and I never had any issues with it at all, but it is good peace of mind knowing that the Pros are actually built for it. So I also don't sweat a ton, so that could be a reason why I never had an issue with my AirPods 2, but just know that the AirPods Pro are going to be better for the gym and any kind of activity where you would sweat. Now, as for functionality, the AirPods Pro are much different than the AirPods 2. So on the AirPods 2, we tap the AirPod to invoke gestures, but on the AirPod Pros, we just tap and hold on the stem here, and you will see we have a little indentation there for the little haptic button there, and we tap and hold on that, and that's how we invoke the gestures on the AirPods Pro, which I actually like a lot better. I didn't like it at first. It did take some getting used to coming from the AirPods 2 because it is so much different, but I tend to like it a lot better. It also gives you a lot more customizability options as well, which I'll touch on here in a second. Now, if you go into your Bluetooth settings on your iPhone and go to your AirPods Pro right here and click on the eye, you can see you have multiple customizations here that you're able to do. Now, the thing I want to focus on right now is press and hold AirPods. So this is where you can change what the AirPods actually do. So I have the left for Siri and the right for noise control, basically turning on and off transparency mode. And those settings look much different with the AirPods 2. If we go ahead into here, you can see the AirPods 2, all you can change is what the double tap does on each AirPod there. You just have basically media controls and Siri. That's all you can change. And with the AirPods Pro, the media controls, like going to the next song and the previous song and, play pause and things like that, that's all built in. That's nothing you can customize, which is nice because that gives you more customization options for all the other things that you can do with like noise cancellation and transparency mode and things like that. And being able to go between transparency and noise cancellation is very convenient. Again, you just tap and hold on the stem of the AirPod Pro and it switches between those two modes. You also have the control center right here. If you 3D touch on the volume right there, as long as your AirPods Pro are connected, you can see down here you can also quickly change between noise cancellation and transparency mode as well. And speaking of noise cancellation, that was clearly the biggest selling point for the Pros, and it definitely does not disappoint. One of my biggest complaints with the AirPods 2 was just how awful they were in loud situations. Like if I was on a plane, if I was in a crowded store, when I was grocery shopping, you could just hear the plane engine, you can hear the people talking, you could hear the music playing in the background in the store. You basically had to turn the volume up on the AirPods 2 to block out those outside noises. But with active noise cancellation on the AirPods Pro, you don't hear any of that, and you don't need to turn your volume up very loud either. I wear these on my bike ride every single night, and I'm on the sidewalk, right next to the road where there's a lot of cars passing by, and I almost never hear the sound of cars. It's a massive difference from the AirPods 2. Now, of course, these are earbuds that don't cover your whole ear, so they're not gonna be as good as over-the-ear headphones, but then again, we don't wanna wear, big old over-the-ear headphones on our bike rides or into grocery stores, but it's very impressive for not being over the ear. And at the end of the day, convenience is the number one reason to buy AirPods. Everything else should be secondary. So you shouldn't really be thinking, going into this thinking it's going to sound as good and block out as much noise as full over the ear headphones. I also mentioned transparency mode a minute ago, and that's also blown me away with just how great it actually is. Now, if you don't know, transparency mode basically lets outside sound in so you can hear what's going on around you. It basically amplifies outside sounds using an outward facing microphone, and it's very, very convenient. I've switched between the two modes many times, like in grocery stores, in the gym, just any time when I need to hear something or someone around me. It's great to be able to toggle between noise cancellation and transparency by just using the stem, just a long hold on the stem, or again, I can do it from my phone and the control center. Now with the AirPods 2, you can sometimes just hear the person or the sound over your music, so you could look at it as being more convenient in that case, but I do find that the music is a lot more enjoyable to listen to and more relaxing even to listen to with active noise cancellation on and no outside noise coming into your ears. And because of the noise cancellation, the overall sound quality is far better than the AirPods 2. The bass is much punchier, the mids and the highs are more distinguishable, and just the overall listening experience is far better. And let me just clarify real quick, if you listen to music in high quality, that's where you're gonna notice the big difference in sound. But if you listen to music like on YouTube or just not very high quality or just very tame tracks, you won't hear a major difference between the AirPods Pro and the AirPods 2. But if you listen to like hip hop or anything that's kind of loud, has bass, or just anything that's not on YouTube, you will definitely notice a difference in sound quality. And even though noise cancellation does drain the battery a little bit faster than using them without noise cancellation, I think it's worth it. And speaking of that battery life, Apple claims you'll get the same battery life on both models, but I found that the AirPods Pro falls short of the claims that Apple makes. So Apple claims that they will last 4.5 hours with active noise cancellation on and the volume at 50%. But I tested this by listening to podcasts while I was working one day, and I got 4 hours and 10 minutes of battery life. So about 20 minutes short of what Apple claims. And if the volume was louder than 50%, they would have died even sooner. Meanwhile, my AirPods 2 over here consistently get 5 hours without a charge. So slightly worse battery life here, but honestly, I'm fine with having slightly less battery life for a far better listening experience. Of course, if you throw them in the charging case, you're gonna get 24 hours of battery for both models as well. And if you are around chargers all the time, wireless chargers especially, you probably won't ever run out of battery on your case, and you really never have to worry about battery life at all. So it kind of just depends on how you live and where you use these at and things like that. But I will gladly pay off a little bit of battery life for a much better listening experience. Now, as for the pricing, the AirPods 2 with the wireless charging case are $199 and the AirPods Pro are $249. So a $50 difference if you buy them from Apple. Now, if you don't have a wireless charger in your house or you don't plan on using one in the future, I would go with the AirPods 2 with just the regular case, the non-wireless charger. This case right here, and you can tell when it doesn't have the button on the front right here, the LED indicator to show the battery life. And if you do go with the AirPods 2 without the wireless charging case, that's going to be $159. So that's a $90 price difference from the Pros, which is pretty major. So should you buy the AirPods Pro or the AirPods 2? So if audio quality is important to you, or if you just want to listen to music or a podcast in peace without all the outside noise coming into your ear, I think it's an easy decision to pay more for the AirPods Pro. Now, if you're wanting to buy AirPods for convenience, for answering phone calls, and don't care too much about getting great audio quality or blocking out noise, then I would go with the AirPods 2. They're also a little bit easier to get in and out of your ears than I found with the AirPods Pro. Not a major thing, but I did want to mention that it's a little bit more convenient to get in and out of your ears with the AirPods 2. Now, if you go to the gym, if you go for jogs, you ride your bike, or if you do anything kind of sweat inducing, then I would go with the Pros since they are water and sweat resistant, whereas the 2s are not. And of course, if you are on a budget and you didn't want to spend over $200, I would get the AirPods 2, or if it's a gift, I would go with the AirPods 2. So if you have an iPhone or the person you're getting them for has an iPhone, the AirPods, no matter which one you get, are a must, and they make for a perfect gift. But of course, the AirPods and the AirPods Pro also work with any phone via Bluetooth. You just have to press and hold on this button back there, and you can connect to any phone via Bluetooth. You just don't get to take advantage of that H1 chip inside that makes the connection process as simple as it can possibly get. So there you have it, guys. Those are my observations after a month with the AirPods Pro comparing to the AirPods 2. So hopefully this helped you choose which pair of AirPods to buy. Let me know down in the comment section below which ones you want, which ones you have. Let me know all your thoughts down there in the comment section below. And if this video did help you out or you just enjoyed it, I would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. And of course, subscribe because I will be doing more comparisons between AirPods when the new ones come out next year. And I will also be doing a 1 year later review on the AirPods Pro. So anyways, guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon.